She said, she'll take me anywhere, she'll take me anywhere, as long as she stays with me. She said, she'll take me anywhere, she'll take me anywhere, as long as I stay clean. Kiss, kiss Molly's lips, kiss, kiss Molly's lips, kiss, kiss Molly's lips, kiss, kiss Molly's lips. Hey, me, Matt here, and I actually happened upon this by accident watching YouTube and Survivor Series Showdown. So I thought, alright, I'll review it. I did actually review Survivor Series 93, but this was actually a very good show. So, let's see what happened. Survivor Series 93 Showdown happened November 8th. It says November 8th to November 10th. Oh, it aired on the 21st. So there was two shows. One, I guess, with Jim Ross and Gorilla Monsoon. And then you had Bobby Heenan and Vince McMahon. So I guess that's why that happened. This was at Bushville, Pennsylvania, Bushville, Pennsylvania, and Delhi, New York. So, yeah, this was a pretty interesting setup too, and I think that these shows, I kind of had to jog my memory a little bit, because I did watch wrestling around this time. 93 in general was a good year, one of my favorite years, but obviously there were some ups and downs, and especially with Survivor Series. So you also had interesting commentary like this one, Doink the Clown versus Bastion Booger, and Gorilla Monsoon making fun of Bastion Booger's weight, talking about eating a lot and stuff. Fat jokes. That was a different time. But anyways, yeah. You thought maybe Bastion Booger was gonna get this one, but somehow Doink kept playing jokes on him and somehow got the win. And there was a point after the match where, yes, Bastion Booger did come out with a box of pizza, with two pizzas. So Doink took the box, put Tabasco sauce on the two pieces, and Bastion Booger took a bite of one and spit it out and chased Doink out of the arena. But this was a pretty good match. And I mean, Doink is one of those wrestlers that I thought, you know, like, you want a gimmick wrestling? Yeah, you look to this guy. I think Matt Bourne played him very well, despite his own issues. I think Doink was an interesting wrestler, and I think if Matt were alive today, or hell, maybe even Steve Kerr, Doink could have went places. And I know he had some other competition after WWF, but I mean, this was a good match. Also, Bastion Booger, I think, despite the weight problems, and I know the fact that they used him in an unflattering gimmick, you know, having him as a flyer, then going to this, I don't know if that really helped. And shame on WWE for making that, you know, a thing. Like, give him some help. Maybe they tried to help him. Maybe they tried to do what they did with Yokozuna and put him through a dieting thing, but that didn't if that happened, then that obviously didn't work. But unfortunately, both these guys are gone. We now have a match with Mr. Fuji, who managed Crush, and Crush took on Pennsylvania's own Virgil, who didn't get entrance music. So I don't know at what point Virgil, I thought maybe he was still in the company. I thought I mentioned him in my review, but I guess not. But he was still wrestling. And yeah, Crush really kicked the crap right out of him. Like, it was just one of those things where I think there was a lot of, Virgil trying to get back at him. He even did the $1 Million Dream, but Crush was too powerful and did the vice grip thing. And after the match, he went for it again. This was at a time where Crush turned heel, turning on Macho Man Randy Savage, and they would later have their match at WrestleMania 10 the following year. But this was an interesting match, and once again, Mike Jones should have got more. I don't know why he never got a title in WWE, except for maybe the $1 Million title. But anyways, speaking of somebody that should have got a singles title, you got IRS or our Shyster versus Marty Jannetty. Now what's interesting about this match was Marty Jannetty, they mentioned, former Intercontinental Champion, and Aaron Shyster, who was going after the Intercontinental Championship. I think that's what was going to happen. But if that was the case, it's too bad, because I think that Mike should have held the title, at least for a little while. But this match was good. There was a point where Marty was on the ropes, and our IRS just moved the rope like that, hitting Marty in the balls, and Marty winced in pain, but would have had to have.
We're a fucking cup!
So, yeah, Marty tried to fight back as well, but IRS was too powerful for him. He even did the abdominal stretch for a while, but a clothesline finished him off and won the match. So, I mean, it was a really good match too. I don't think that he gets enough credit as a singles wrestler. Yeah, he was in Money Inc. and he was with Barry Windham, but and the Varsity. I can't even remember now. But yeah, so Marty Jannetty obviously screwed himself over, so yeah, there it is. And then you have another Mr. Fuji match because he managed Yokozuna in this one, and yeah, I mean, this is a rematch from the previous WrestleMania from Caesar's Palace, WrestleMania 9. I also talked about that and what a shit show that was. So yeah, this was a good match too. Obviously Brett didn't win, but the way it happened, it was just like, you knew that Survivor Series was coming up. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned it in my review, but it happened on a Wednesday, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, Brett definitely beat the shit right out of Yokozuna, but Yokozuna retaliated, eventually trying to do the bonsai drop. That didn't work. You had Brett try to do the sharpshooter, but for some reason Owen came out, so that had the referee go out of the ring to distract him. He had a point where Mr. Fuji distracted the referee, which Yokozuna gave Brett a low blow, and again, Brett would have to.
We're a fucking cup!
There was a point, Owen came out, distracting the ref. You have Brett on the outside, and Yokozuna is just beating him with chairs. Well, a chair. Which I don't believe I've seen. And I must have. If I saw this show, I don't remember. But this was pretty interesting to me. But yeah, once they got in the ring, Yokozuna continued beating him up. And Owen distracting the ref. And the ref gets in the ring. Owen gets in the ring. He tries to beat up Yoko, which... Oh no, he goes after Mr. Fuji. And yeah, that disqualifies the match. That gets disqualified, and Yokozuna retains. But then, of course, they'll have WrestleMania where they're gonna have Lex Luger and Yokozuna, but also Brett and Yokozuna in the main event where Brett gets the title back. Oh, okay. So, just reading the thing. It was actually, it was a salt bucket. Fuji tried to assault Brett with the salt bucket. And then Owen took it and basically beat Yoko home with that. So, anyways, this was a good show. And you also had interviews. Ray Russo, who I guess when I was a kid, didn't really hear his heavy Quebec accent. So, he was there. He interviewed both teams for the main event of the Survivor Series. Interestingly enough, Tatanka was supposed to be a part of the All-Americans, which makes absolute sense. But, you know, he got taken out, so he was replaced by The Undertaker. And, you know, so they interview him, they interview the other team, and yeah, and that was pretty cool. This was a good show all around, but yeah, that goes into Survivor Series 93. We also have a segment with Shawn Michaels going into somebody's house, and the people in all people masks pretending to be Stuart Allen. And I don't remember the guy's name, but that was Bruce Pritchard playing him. And he sounded just like Dusty Rhodes. So anyway, this was a good show, and yeah, stay tuned for our Survivor Series 2024 play-by-play coming up very soon. Talk to you later. Bye. Forgot to mention that during the show, Bobby Heenan was complaining about his stomach and how sick he was, and all I can think of is Vince going, he's gonna puke! He's gonna puke!
So you know that them cutting WCW was a long time coming. I don't think that's the case at all. If you look at some of his earlier interviews,